The dead don't. The
The
dead
dead
don't hurt.
don't hurt.
The dead
Okay,
don't hurt. So Sean, kick us and tell us about this Viggo Mortensen starring, directed, written
yeah,
film.
film. Okay, so this film, it's a story about this girl called Vivienne, and some of the story is told in flashbacks. It starts off as like a typical Western would start off with some sort of action going on in a town where a lot of people get killed and someone wanders off. And then you get a little bit of a flashback to obviously 7 Years wartime, where this young girl, she's a young girl, and her father is a Frenchman, and he goes off to fight the English, and obviously doesn't come back. And she has these visions of a knight, and her mother reads her book. She'd probably enjoy it. This would be a shame for her reads books about the Maid of New Orleans and all that, and she sees herself as like a strong girl growing up. And then you go present time, and you meet Viggo Mortensen. She's sort of with Vigo. I forget the character's name. She's with Vigo, and they live in this like little cottage place, and they have a rather idyllic life. And then you keep going flashbacks of it keeps going flashbacks to how they meet. They sort of meet, and she's being pursued by someone who's like a real art lover and like loads of money and that, but she falls for him. He's like a carpenter, an immigrant carpenter, and they go off to this place, and he becomes sheriff of the town. Anyway, but then the Civil War starts, and he decides to go off to. He fights for the Union. He goes off to fight in the Civil War. So this lady's left on her own, and you've got the nasty character that's sort of been pursuing her. You know, the bad guy, should we say? Because in a Western,
Yeah.
you always need a good and a bad guy.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he does some nasty stuff. Anyway, keeps going in flashbacks, what she thinks about, and then he returns from the Civil War. She's pregnant, and she tells a story that yeah, she was sort of without her
Yeah,
consent and all this sort of
oh,
stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, sure. Maybe a bit too much story.
Okay. So we're going to that. So anyway, and then it's sort of like, okay. So yeah, too much story maybe. So yeah, so it goes on. You can imagine so where it goes from there. So this is a film told in flashback, just the girl's story. She thinks she's the Maid of New Orleans. She's really, really strong character, really strong. You know, she spurns advances from rich people and all stuff like that. So basically, it flips a bit back and forward, which could be a little bit confusing. I think I found it was a bit too much of that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of
Yeah,
present
yeah.
time,
Oh,
then it
time
goes back to
jumping.
when she was young, and then it would go back to the present time, then it go back to another bit when she was young, and some of the things she did with her mum and how much her mum loved her. And she's really
Yeah.
into flowers, and she grows garden. Anyway, so that's basically the story. So I would say it's a love story, really, where, with a bit of redemption. He sort of regrets that he went away and comes back, and it's all gone.
So, so I mean, this is set in a time period. It's a Western set in a time period, so American Civil War that I think you
Yeah,
love.
so
You
but
you
it flips back to like the 1700s before, when the French, when she's a young girl. So obviously there's the French and the British
yeah, fighting
compete
over the land.
basically
There's a
over.
big gap between those events, though. The Civil War was like 1860s, and that's like 60 years.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. That's the thing. So, but I mean,
Ooh.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the 7 Years War. Let's just say her father, who's a Frenchman, says, "Oh, I've got to go and fight the English," and then, well, without telling the story of what happens to him,
Yeah.
So
There's a really big gap with any of the wars around.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it could have just been. It could have been. So, I mean,
I've okay. I feel like if we dig into this, and this is just me trying to think that I might want to watch this film one day, and I feel like if we dig into this gap a little bit too much, we might start revealing things we don't want to know,
Right, okay.
or rather that I don't want to know until I watch the film.
Yeah.
So let's go to
it was, and that's why I said it was with the flashbacks. That's why I said it was a bit confusing. It was a little
Okay.
bit confusing because it wasn't sort of explained. It was old Flintlock to start with in the flashbacks, and then when we come forward, we got the Henrys and the Colt 45s. So it would have been roundabout that sort of 1700s. So yeah,
All right.
so she would have been. So how old would she have been? So let's just say that was 1795, and then so she'd be about 40. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Too convoluted there. Okay, as a Western, not a great deal of action. There wasn't a great deal of action. Yeah, I wanted to like it more than what I did.
Okay, yeah.
I just found it a little bit confusing with the
Yep.
flip. It was rather too much. I mean, the characters were good. I don't think the actress was particularly attractive or beautiful or anything like that. So I don't
Yeah,
know why she was pursued by so many suitors.
that's Vicky Creeps. So Vicky Creeps from Phantom Thread. She was in Phantom
Right.
Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. So yeah, and I think yeah, but that's neither here nor there. So
Yeah, yeah.
so what did you think of the film? Saying that, how many stars did you give it?
Pretty average Western. I'll give it a middling 3 stars. So just a 3 star one for that.
All
I
right.
wanted to like it more, but I found it difficult.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a total waste of your time.
No, it
Like,
wasn't.